Welcome to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. So in today's video, I'm going to jump straight forward to the section 5 here, developing your personal brand as a freelance consultant, and make a quick recap over the past 4 sections, right? So in the section 1, I look at the getting started building a consulting career by looking at the fundamentals, how consulting success looks like, what are the tasks that a consulting does, as well as tips to improve your productivity, like find a way to find you into the zone, eliminate distraction, don't do multitasking, stick to your schedule. Use Pomodoro techniques to focus on that task, and don't forget to take breaks. As well as when it comes to decision making, use the Eisenhower matrix for that. Things that are important and urgent, do that today. The things that are important but not urgent, schedule. Things uh, that are not important but are urgent, delegate. And ultimately, if that thing is not important and urgent, don't even think about it. Simple. So then, okay, I look also at the section 2, which is getting started as a freelance consulting career. So first, identify your strengths and weakness, capitalize on them, which is on the section 2 here, right? Capitalize on your strengths, identify the type of consulting you want to do, for example, one-on-one consultation or specialized service or training and teaching, as well as protect your business at all costs, right? As well as now identify what is a niche, mistake to avoid when you're choosing a niche, align yourself with an established platforms, mistake to avoid when you align yourself with an established platform. What is an offer? Create an offer, create a value statement which help you to simplify your offer, as well as define the scope of the work. Remember that the client is paying you for the value you provide, not for how many hours you put in. Okay. As well as the ways that you can price your service, whether it is hourly or per milestone. Remember that the holy grail of all business as a consultant is to escape from the clock, right? And ultimately provide value to clients, as well as understand that a great offer is not just only one single offering. In fact, it's a value ladder of offering. Okay, so what you can do here is understand is the value ladder of offering when you start at the bottom, okay, with the consultation for free, and then you can push the client up the value ladder. Let's say for a project audit, this is to get some money in your pockets, understand what's the challenge that the client is having, and develop a roadmap that you can go with, and ultimately push the client up the value ladder, where now here you can say, let's say, a 10-hour package monthly. And remember to have a recurring client, which is the end goal of all of this, right? Good, good. So with that, okay, I also look at the importance of creating a service agreement. This is to make you look much more professional, okay? And some key features on those agreements are the project overview, project timelines, scope of the work, terms and terminations, compensation, and other agreements. Okay, that was the section 3. So on the section 4, all right, so once you know all of that, it is time to put that at practice. Meaning, first, identify things you have to avoid, especially when you're starting in a new field, such as focusing too much on your portfolio or uh, running pay ads because you don't have clients. So you need to do that organically, gain some tractions. And another mistake is that a lot of people do is not focusing on your skill set, because your reputation is what is going to be used by clients to decide if they want to work for you, which is on the section 3 here, right? Which is on the section 3. And here, okay, now when it comes to put at practice, okay, first, know how to, in this case, is treat your clients as trial clients, meaning that be transparent with them, especially if you're new to that field. Be honest. If you need to adjust your price, remember to indicate that you are driven to provide exceptional results to build your image as a consultant. And from there, right, now it comes place where you can find and land your consulting clients, such as Upwork, which is this top commerce or these top platforms that allow to connect freelancers with clients, right? You have this, so you have Upwork. Also, you have your existing network that might vary depending on the city you live, or this is very highly contextual and geographically. It's also important to keep track of every interaction that you're having with any sell leads or prospect or clients using CRM, customer relationship management, because this will help you to develop long-term business relationship with them, which is the one of the goal of having a business. Not only having recurring clients, but also develop a long-lasting business relationship. Another place where you can look is the employment side. This is useful, especially if you want to gain some tractions into that. And then you down the line you can put your foot in the door when it comes to creating your side job or your consulting service. Great, cool. So I also look at the tips for consulting, especially remember that this is a numbers game. Very, very important. Ask yourself, what am I doing today? Okay, and am I putting myself in the best possible position to move forward? As well as remember to show your face, which is the reason why I'm recording all of these videos, because I am actually putting in practice what I have learned from this. Okay, and some consultation tips. Okay, when it comes to find and land or yeah, some consultation, or some tips to land high-paying consulting clients, like be an active listener, use speed, use solution selling process, where with this solution selling process is to diagnose the prospect needs or opportunity and then recommend the right product and service to solve the challenge they're having. So this actually works for business to business process or sales process, where they need the customer, the sell, where the customer or the prospect The client need a customized solution, a tailored solution for that, because things that sell out of the box or sell that out of the shelf doesn't require this. Good. So again, remember to also add free value, which is the 4 tips that help you to find and land high paying consulting client. And for my particular case, this is something that a client that I have right now, which is Ball Inc., uh, which the CEO is Patrick Bolbach. It identified that because I provide them value, my friend. How so? Because I have 5 years of experience as a web developer, but I'm new to Shopify. What I tell them, hey, give me at least 2 days to develop a roadmap to understand the basic notion of Shopify using ChatGPT. So I provide them value to them. Uh, and then after that, the client say, well, okay, that's great, that's good. Well, we can now negotiate here, right? When it comes to set a 10-hour package, which is something that I tell them to do. I was going to put a 10-hour package here, but the client, well, he said he add 5 hours more, so he put that to 15 hours, which is great, all right? And right now I'm starting to developing and starting to providing is outcome to that. After 5 weeks, finally I started to gain traction to that. So the first week was to understand the architecture and infrastructure, as well as learning to how to set up the the Shopify theme, week 1 and week 2. So get myself familiar with that. And on week 3 is when I started to fix small problems. And on the week 4 is when I started to now tackle a little bit more ambitious task. Okay. So right now in the week 5, which is the current week, I'm going to now is focus on bigger tasks, especially when it comes to optimizations, which is good. Which is good. Okay. Uh, so so mm, again, all of this is to put at practice what I have learned so far, and this is, well, when it comes to uh, applying this, be an active listener, use speed, use solution selling process, as well as add free value. Okay, so with that, uh, then I also look at how to secure payment, which is something very, very, very important, especially once you already talk all of the objections that arise with your client. Most of the time, they boil down is onto time, budget, or money. So once you do that, now it is time to know how to handle client payments. And with that is first get the service agreement signed, secure the payment methods, hourly, milestone, and then is when you're going to start providing your service. Also, when it comes to invoice your client, for example, platforms like Upwork, Freelancer, and Fiverr, they already handle that for you. But if you want to issue personal invoice, you can use, for example, QuickBooks or Sahabooks, as well as PayPal. Okay, so to reduce the fee among that transaction. Okay, okay. All right. So once you know how to uh, once you know how to find land happy consulting clients, you tackle all of your objections that may arise. You know how to send a service agreement. You get the service agreement signed. You secure the payments, and you're starting to provide value to the client. You gain some traction to that. Now it is time to put at practice the next phase, which is having recurring clients or building recurring clients or scaling your business to multiple customers, because the more you have the more source of income you have from different clients, perhaps in different industry, the more diversified is your revenue stream. And ultimately, remember that delivering a top quality product is the way how you can build your reputation. So people spend or invest in things they like and trust. You know, like and trust. So remember that refers all the key to growth. Use CRMs to keep track of interaction that you're having with your potential clients. Okay, which is something that I'm gonna do, by the way. Let me actually write it down. Okay, the week goal, and this is from Hotspot. Keep track workload, work log, the work log. And if you struggle with it, remember that it's all about getting leads to your business and repeat the process. So getting business leads, show them value, and build your reputations and repeat. So this is the section 3. And when it comes to the section 4, okay, which is now get your hands dirty on how to conduct a proper research as a freelancer. Okay, first, understand that data is something powerful, and it can help you to influence, persuade, reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. And because of that, especially when you're conducting a consulting project or a consulting for a project, identify the source of your data. So you got first party data that come from the companies, which is the most valuable. Usually you have to sign an NDA agreement for that. Once you do that, you can see what they have done in the past and how they have been performing. Okay, and the second part is the from trust sources. So you can look at sources that they have a great record of proven record of research report, peer review, so they are not anonymous. And lastly, you have is the third party data from aggregate sources. You can check the quality of this. You can check the quality of the sources. Perhaps they may be hidden or they are behind to some paywall. Okay, and when it comes to now conduct the research or do the task as a consulting, all right. Uh, First, perspective. See things from different angles. Play devil advocate with yourself because things are not black and white. Okay. Second, gather relevant data. So gather as much as possible relevant data. And this is something that most of us, it might sound trivial, but when it comes to do the job, your mind wandering for different sources and things that escape the scope of the work. So gather relevant data as much as possible, as well as keep track and keep records or take notes and keep track of every source you obtain. Okay, qualify the quality of, so evaluate the quality of those sources, and don't forget to go back with the clients or with your own research for that. Something that I do that here, especially because Paul Mendes on the Paul Mendes is the Zero to Mastery instructor from this course. He taught that he taught here a way of how he conduct a research from the marketing's Googles. Okay, so when he look at a particular website, and this is something helpful not only as data analysts, software engineers, designers, uh, audio engineers, this is helpful for all of them because it can give you some confidence and allow you to become a thought leader in your industry. So, how so? Well, by first looking on a particular website, especially this is a use case for a client. Okay? Look at the client's website, understand all their products and service, okay, and then you go about the specifics, all right, which is their pricing, their category, what makes this company unique, the company reviews. If you can have access to the first party data, great, great, because now you can have access to things that I mentioned before, what they have done in the past, see how they have been performing. So once you conduct the research for their website, how much they charge, categories, the personal brands, the business brand. So now it is time to look at the competitor analysis. And this is to understand who the other players in that industry are. See what you can learn from them, see what they're doing, and create a keyword research that allows you to understand what's going on in that industry. And then on top of that keyword research, using keyword research or keyword online tools out there, okay? Yep. From Google or for any other online platform, okay? Using keyword research. So on top of that keyword research, you're gonna get up-to-date data from Words News to see how everything that you have researched and what if that everything that you have researched is most likely to work today. And that includes look at how this industry is adapting to regulations. One. And second is where this industry is going. So with this, 3 sections, okay, when it comes to conduct a research, okay, now I did that for the e-commerce, so I'm not going to dive deep into the e-commerce sphere here, only broadly speaking here. So I conducted research on the e-commerce to understand what is an e-commerce, as well as the definition from the e-commerce from Amazon and Shopify, understand the several business operations that such as marketing, sales, finance, research and development, operations, IT, customer service, as well as research and development. Okay, and then understanding is the different actors involved in this e-commerce, meaning the government, the business, and the consumers, and how they relate to each other. right? As well as couple examples. So from business to consumer, which is the most widely business model used, all right? So you have online retailers, subscription service, travel booking, travel online travel and booking, ordering ordering food and delivery service, uh, as well as digital marketplace. In the case of business to business, you have online marketplace, EDI, the electronic data interchange, online portals, wholesale e-commerce, business to business payment solutions. For the consumers to business, things like uh, freelance work, online survey, crowdfunding, user generated content. For example, influencers or people that are on the audio industry or in a creative industry, whether it's artists, visual artists, or audio engineers, just to mention a few ones, as well as reverse auctions. Another example is the business or the government to business, such as public procurement portals, tax payment and or tax filing payments systems, international trades and custom clearance, license and permits applications, business registrations. And when it comes to the government to consumers, tax portals, payment of utility, driving license and vehicle registration, passport applications, ordering birth and death certificates. And now for the consumer to government, you have license and permits, payment of fines and fees, online donations, online petitions. And then I understand it's the other actors involved in that industry, the competitor analysis, Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Alibaba, as well as IKEA. Okay, good. So, as well as conduct a keyword research, right? To understand what's going on in that industry, especially with Shopify, is very dominant in the case of building uh, online stores, websites, Shopify theme, Shopify POS. Uh, and then I have pending to get up to date news, which is now a lot of this industry is moving forward to the how do you put it, to the AI. And when it comes now to condense everything that you have researched in a visually engaging report, okay, first it is important to understand that before doing that you need to know what you're gonna put in there. Okay, remember that ultimately the client want to know how you came with that conclusion, and with that is by showing them uh, the statistics and charts, as well as the meaningful patterns, and ultimately let the client decide if they want to work with you, because after all, you're not just another consulting that does the bare minimum to get by. Okay, so things to do, especially when you are creating your report, okay, or the art of the presentation, is you must know exactly what you're going to put in there first, period. Second, put the most relevant data first, because people don't like, and I don't like as well, especially in this era that we live in. We want things fast. So I don't want to sit, and no one want to sit at a presentation and find out at the end of that it get all the good stuff. So put the most relevant data first, okay? Then expand that with different aesthetics, bars, visualizations, statistics. Remember to use some templates, especially if you have now recurring clients to do that, and visualization bars and different charts for particularly use case, such as bar graph, which are I'm not going to dive deep too much in each one of them. Okay, just going to mention them. So bar chart, pie chart, line graph, area chart, scatter plot, bubble chart, heat maps, geomaps, tables, waterfalls, charts, pictograms, as well as tools that you can use to leverage your reports, such as Microsoft Excel or Statista, if you want to get some sources, reliable sources. Perhaps Google Trend is another way. Canvas to generate your reports or your own CRM analytics. Okay, and when it comes to present that data, okay, uh, make it in an organized way. Uh, Compare that with benchmark. So compare your data, which make benchmark. Make it easy to read. Uh, so don't use so don't lose your data after you present it. Never do that, or use outdated data or unprecise number. This is from data visualization tips. And when it comes to communicate that, break complex topics. People that don't have a or people that don't hold a background on that, and you need to rely on a lot of mumbo jumbo industry jargon or a lot of mumbo jumbo industry. So make it easy for them to digest your content. Also, show that you understand the goal, as well as avoid any miscommunication. So once the client understands or your audience understand that, and when you reach to that particular client, so understand their working styles and the communication as well. Perhaps the client just wants to communicate with you, over email, right, or Slack, or he wants to do some visual, or let's say this um, uh, video calls, right? Also, keep track of interaction that you're having with your clients, as well as be a team player, very underrated, and send brief updates of your progress. And when you want to now build recurring client, which is the end goal of all of this business stuff, okay, as well as providing value while developing this long-term business relationship. Okay, so A/B testing allows you to do that, and this is something that comes from the UX or the user experience research. Okay, where you have the control and the treatment, where the A or B, where A is the original or unaltered version, let's say, of your landing page, and the B is your optimized or your expected optimized version of your landing page. You can do as many tests as you want, okay? But when it comes to, for simplicity, to make your life much more easy, uh, following is some best practice for A/B testing will be helpful. For example, test one variable and do one test at a time. Something especially that when you are as a developer or a creative person, suddenly you're facing a lot of issue down the road, and you need to focus is on what is important, which is another uh, topic on here, best practice, which is before doing the test, decide on significance on that, right? So this is one of the best practice here. Before, so decide the significance of the test before doing it. And once you identify that, okay, so do one test at a time, test one variable, as well as make minor change. Okay, so consider how useful is that test to be done. It is useful, okay. Consider the priority of that test. Is that priority? Yes. All right. So do one test. Say, do one test at a time and test one variable as well. Well, also remember to make minor change. Make minor change. Split your test randomly, which will be helpful, as well as do that test simultaneously. Okay, when you're gonna test for a particular audience. So this way, once you do this, once you apply this A/B testing, okay, once you apply this A/B testing for that, it's important to measuring over time and repeat the process. So plan, do, check, and act for that. Repeat the A/B testing. Plan, do, check, and act. Right? This is something somewhat similar to the machine learning workflow. When you have an idea and then you implement that, you get the results, you analyze why you don't get the result or the error analysis, you refine your idea during the error analysis, and then iterate again, right? So this is a methodology that machine learning developers follows. Okay, so that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.